Hey everybody, welcome off the rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Aaron.
Hey Aaron, thanks for being on the show, man.
No problem. I forgot my name for a second.
I know, right? That's how it goes, man. Here.
You get in that moment.
Right?
Yes.
You can feel it. It's palpable.
New comic book day.
If you are not familiar with Mr. Thorgi, Professor Thorgi, that is, Mr. Thorgi.
I didn't go to 7 years of Thorgi school.
Oh, Mr. Thank you very much. Check the description, click, and subscribe. Check them out. Today we're going to review Infinity Countdown, #1, written by Jerry... I've always pronounced it Dugan.
I always said Dugan, too.
I've said Dugan, too. There's only one YouTuber I know who says Duggan, and it's Joel, so screw it.
That might be Canadian accent.
Right, it could just be totally wrong. But Jerry Dugan with art by Aaron Cooter and Mike Deodato Jr. What do you even call this? Because
it's so weird because it's not really an event. This feels like the prequel to an event.
Yes, it's a prelude. It's getting there.
But the thing is, they had a prelude issue to this, so I thought, oh, so it is going to be like an event. Oh no, that was just... But in a weird way, it kind of makes sense because I get the feeling from this issue, because it's going to be 5 issues long.
Okay.
I think.
Because I didn't actually know how many issues it's supposed to be.
I believe it's 5.
Because I got it confused with all the other Infinity books that are either concurrently coming out with this or have already come out.
Yes. And you get the sense reading this issue, because in the prelude issue that they did, the Prime issue I think it's called, because there's actually been 2 prelude issues, one focusing on, oh god, Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock,
Thank
yes.
you. Yes. There was one focusing on Adam Warlock, but then there's the one that was the official prelude issue. It basically showed where all the Infinity Stones were.
Right.
Yeah, who had each one. And then this one, it only deals with the Guardians and the Power Stone.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, oh, so each of these are going to focus on one of the different gems. And there's 6 gems, but there's a tiny backup story at the end that kind of explains where the other gem is.
Yes. Also, there's a 1-page handy guide that tells you, A, who has them, and B, how the new mysticism works with them.
Which is kind of actually, I think is kind of actually cool, the new thing that they're doing with the stones, where I'm trying to find, here it is.
Yeah, they're all independently connected to another stone.
Basically, if you get one of the gems, it doesn't make you all powerful in that area anymore.
Yeah.
You have to have mastery of a different thing. So in other words, for power, it doesn't give you infinite power anymore just by holding it. You have to have really strong mind to be able to use it. Basically, the stronger you are of your mind, the stronger your power will be holding the Power Stone.
Yeah.
So basically, Wolverine had the Space Stone for a little bit, and he couldn't teleport to the other side of the world or teleport a planet away, which is something that the old Space Stones would do just by holding onto it. Now the Space Stone reflects your mastery of power. So because Wolverine, he's a tough guy, he could teleport, but not all over the place.
Yeah, although he does in all the Where is Wolverine PS.
It does actually kind of explain that.
Yeah.
It does make that actually make sense.
Right, which I appreciate.
That's right, yeah.
So this is basically, as you said, it's just a Guardians of the Galaxy continuation.
It's even drawn by the same person who drew the Guardians of the Galaxy series.
It's almost like this is just the last issue of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they put this new cover on it, and then added a Wolverine backup.
And I am so torn on that, because on the one hand, you're picking up this Infinity Stone thing, and it's okay, I'm going to learn about all the different Infinity
Stones. That's what I'm thinking, and then it's a Guardians of the Galaxy story.
Don't really play that much of a role in it. Instead, it's more about the Guardians having to go up against the Gardener, who, for anybody who hasn't been following the Guardians of the Galaxy, basically what happened is you all see that now they have Baby Groot running around, and it's oh, it's a tiny movie. But in all fairness, Jerry Dugan actually came up with a really good plan for that. What he did is that basically after the last time that Groot got destroyed, Rocket grabbed the little twig and it's okay, I'll regrow him. But then he only grew back to little, and he's wondering why. It's because the Elders of the Universe, who basically are these primordial beings who existed since the dawn of time. You know some of them, like the Collector, the Grandmaster. Those are the 2 most well-known ones, but there's also the Gardener, and he's one who basically seeded the universe with life, with plant life.
Yeah.
Loki basically drove him insane and basically convinced him, hey man, living like the big ape creatures who are running all the planets, they've ruined your garden. You're the gardener. This is what you're supposed to do. And so he collected all the tiny pieces of Groot and has basically turned them into giant, savage, Groot-like monsters. And the reason why our Groot can't grow is because he's having all of his life force sapped away into them. It's actually kind of a dark thing that they came up with.
Yeah.
And it actually is really fascinating. I always found Marvel's space stuff to be really intriguing. And for 10 years, no one's really done anything with them.
No, you know why? It's because they don't care about it. And so they can let one person who really does just do whatever they want. Like, remember when Dan Abnett...
I was about to say, Abnett and Landing was the last time. Yeah.
And they were like, well, we don't care. We're having Captain America punch Iron Man in the face.
Yeah. That's basically one of the things that was going on in the Guardians book, and they basically helped reform the Nova Corps.
Yeah, which on the chatter online, I remember people being like, are there Novas again? And I'm like, oh yeah.
It's something like happened off screen.
Yeah, like just literally one day there were more Novas.
It's because they first kind of appeared in the last issue of Guardians that Bendis did because they needed to fight Thanos and they needed someone to pick up Thanos and take him to space jail for the next 2 minutes they'd be there. So he just had Novas pop up. And I would love to come in here and say, oh, there's some plan off camera. But it's like, man, we know how Bendis operates.
He just did that.
He does stuff and doesn't care. Jerry Dugan, the comedy writer who has been doing Deadpool for the past couple years, the last guy on Earth I would expect to actually really care about Marvel Space Side, came in here and has been doing the Guardians for the past, like, maybe year. Like, he hasn't even been doing it that long.
No, not long.
It's the best stuff I've read since the Abnett and Landing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like, oh, this is the only guy who actually realizes what crazy space stuff happens out there. But he still kind of captures that goofy tone of the movies that they now always have to have. So he, to me, kind of strikes that right balance.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm torn on this issue is because this is the final issue of his Guardians of the Galaxy run. And he had a really darn good Guardians of the Galaxy run that was cut really darn short. So I'm really happy we got this. But for all the people out there who weren't reading his Guardians run and just jumped into this, I can honestly understand you being like, what the heck did I just buy?
Yeah, I was tricked. And you were. Like, straight up, you were, because this is just the end of the story, which, admittedly, is awesome.
It's good.
And, just for the moment where you get Groot at the end.
Yes. Are we...
Let's spoil it. Yeah.
Okay. So basically what happens, they have to go and fight the Gardener. They're going against this crazy old man with his tree army, and the tree army is growing bigger and bigger, and Groot's slowly dying away. There's a great sequence there in which they chuck Baby Groot at him, and then Baby Groot chucks Ant-Man at him. It's a double fastball special.
Yes.
And then Baby Groot gets on and just starts yelling out, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he covers him with vines and basically cures him of the poison that Loki put in him to drive him crazy. And then Baby Groot is dying, and he goes, oh, I see all that I've done wrong now. You have to fix this. Here, little one, let me restore you to what you once were. And then he comes out not just as big adult Groot, but he comes out of there as original classic Groot.
Yes. Classic original Groot who speaks in sentences. He's still kind of Hulk.
He still refers to himself in the third person and still doesn't form the best sentences.
No,
but
which is not the way he was, because I think he was like the lord of his whole planet.
Yeah, there was during the Abnett and Landing run, there was a thing in which he was actually like royalty, and before he just said I am Groot, he would say things like Groot smash, Groot will destroy you all was the thing he kept saying all the time, because that was like his running gag before he could only say I am Groot. His running gag was he basically just wanted to murder everyone.
Right.
Which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
When you compare him to the Groot that we eventually got.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he comes back and he just says Groot forgives the Gardener, but Groot will never allow the perversions of his... He basically says a bunch of things.
Yeah.
He now is saying all this other stuff, and everybody's looking at him like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, you're not cute and marketable now.
Which, yeah, kudos to Marvel on this one, because I've always kind of looked at... That was one thing that when Bendis got on Guardians, my first thought was, how long until he has Groot talk? Because Bendis is a guy who always likes to go, I'm going to go in there and change stuff forever in a way that people will go, that's the thing that Bendis did on that book. And I'm honestly kind of shocked that he didn't start having Groot talk.
No, it's weird. He did do that one cover where they cross over
the mind bubble?
The mind bubble.
Yeah, which that's something that they've done in other books where he has internal thoughts. They even did a 6-issue Groot series, which was so much better than it had any right to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you would get his internal thoughts all the time in that.
But basically, the end result of this issue is they restore Groot. They reset it. They factory reset him.
That's the exact term that they use on. Yes. So basically, Groot is back to being normal. But it does also tie into the Power Stone a little bit, so you're not entirely
there are technically Infinity Stones in this book.
It actually makes me very interested in what's going to be in the rest of this storyline.
Yeah, now that we've gotten all the Guardians out of the way.
No, that's out of the way, because, if we're just going to be focusing on each character individually, I really do want to see what's happening because these are some very fascinating characters that they are setting up for all of this.
And also, there's no, you don't know if the characters that have the stones in the map are going to keep the stone by the end of that story, as is the case in this issue.
Because, not to go, we'll go to that in a second, but speaking of the guys who will eventually like have the stones, the Mind Stone is the hands of Turk Barrett, who you guys might remember as that guy who gets his ass kicked on every season of every Netflix show.
Yep.
Which, if you're going, and I can understand, eventually you had to introduce that guy because he's so different from his original comic book version. It's like, yeah, you got to create a new version. Essentially, it's kind of an interesting thing that the Mind Stone ends up in the hands of just a grifter.
Well, a grifter informant, so like he's got to know. Yeah, I think it's cool.
It's kind of an interesting idea.
It's a neat idea. Here's the thing: it has to have come from a germ of an actual idea.
Yeah,
they're not trying to like sell an action figure or like pitch a series of Turk.
Yeah,
there has to have been someone had that pitch, and I want to know why.
Yeah. So I look at that and it's like, that's a cool idea, but I can't imagine him keeping the Mind Stone.
No way.
Yeah, he's not going to be the guy at the end. And the one that's really fascinating that happens at the end of this is that there's a little like 2-page backup story in here. It cuts to Black Widow, who is still 100% alive. But
which nobody expected.
Yes. She's still alive and she's in Madripoor. And she's going to a safe house, and she says only 2 people know about the safe house, and one's dead, and the other one's Captain America, and he's busy on his apology tour. So maybe the other person still isn't as dead as I thought. And it's a great reference back to that old X-Men book of where it was Wolverine and Cap and Black Widow all on the cover there.
That's a great reference.
Yeah.
That's a reference that Bendis wouldn't have made because he didn't read that book.
Yes.
Like, because he's read 3 Marvel comics, and one of them's Doom.
Man, if you just want to stop talking about this in Batman with Bendis, I will do it for the rest of the show.
Let's hold it, because I do dig a little bit of Bendis. So
man, when Bendis is good, he's really good.
That's the thing, and when he's not, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. So...
So she goes in there and she goes, well, whoever broke in here, he was a friendly. Maybe it really was Wolverine. And then she checks the old like drop spot that they have, which is the backseat of the toilet, which, it's still Jerry Dugan. He's going to put like some kind of a joke in there.
Yeah.
And it's just the Space Stone just floating in there.
Just drops it in the toilet.
And Logan just writes the note, take care of this. That's it.
Yeah, she's like, God damn it. Like, what? Thanks. Oh, well, at least you only gave me an Infinity Stone to deal with now.
Yeah. Which... honestly, that's really fascinating because, you give it off to Logan. I'm kind of like, man, Logan, he's been dead for so long. He's coming back. Give him his own story. Don't mess him up with this. Don't tangle him into something else.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want
He needs his own thing. Black Widow, on the other hand, she died, 8 months ago at this point, and none of us believed it for a second.
Nope.
And she is a master spy, so somebody kind of on the run who everyone thinks is dead and has to hide her secret identity. Also, she now has one of the most powerful items in the universe. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
It's so weird that this is going to turn out to be like a lead up to another thing, and the lead up has tie-in things. Except then I stop and I think, yeah, but Annihilation did literally the exact same thing.
They really did, and that was still dope.
And Annihilation was dope, so
yeah,
all right.
Fair enough.
And this is the first guy to write space stuff at Marvel since Abnett and Landing, who did Annihilation, to make me go, yeah, okay.
All right, well, take your
time.
Do what you need to do.
Jerry Dugan is the only guy at Marvel who's not one of the new guys. Who's actually proving me, yeah, you know what, I'll let you do whatever you want to do. I trust you enough.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you've earned your stripes.
Because there's some new guys there like Donny Cates and Matthew Rosenberg who I'm like, all right, keep going with what you're doing. I'm enjoying what you're doing.
Right, but they're like, let's give them everything.
Yeah.
Like, how about Donny Cates, Venom now?
In all fairness, I won't take anybody on that Venom book other than... Yeah. Also, Donny Cates is apparently a big secret Spider-Man fan, so I was like, okay, put on Venom.
All right.
Yeah. Because he freaked out that he's going to have Spider-Man guest star in an issue of Doctor Strange. I was like, I had no idea.
Oh, that's right. I saw the preview for that. Or no, the cover for that.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I know he's a Doctor Strange fan because if you read any of his stuff at Dark Horse or where did he eventually go? Heavy Metal. His Payback series, which is one of my most underrated series of all time. There is a Doctor Strange drug addict in there who's just a trippy hippie. And he is one of the best characters that Donny Cates has ever created. So I'm so glad that he's doing Doctor Strange now. Again, Tiffany's the big Doctor Strange fan.
She is. She's our resident Doctor Strange fan.
Is she enjoying?
She's a little lukewarm on it.
Okay.
She digs it, but
it's
Damnation is not leaving her comfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's as soon as you get into the tie-in stuff, it's like I can't really say if that's you or what other people are making you do.
Yeah.
because it's him and Spencer doing it.
That's right. They're working together on that one.
And I defend Spencer when a lot of people come for him, but even I'll say, I don't think he's a match for Doctor Strange at all.
No.
So, yeah, basically, as we were saying, this whole issue, it's basically half this issue is Drax just kicking massive ass against the Raptors. And there are moments in here that make me go, that is a perfect Drax the Destroyer moment. Like when he can't fly because the wings of Raptors only work for their DNA. So he basically just like gets one in a headlock and one in a leg lock and goes, yeah, you're flying me up there.
Yeah. What's that sound? It's just them screaming as they're launching towards them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of great, like, just really fun character moments in the story.
Jerry Dugan does that. Jerry Dugan gets great character moments.
Yeah.
That's been his entire Deadpool run. I'm not even the biggest Deadpool fan, but I love his run on that book because it's nothing but, we're going to get to, like, the deep side of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which is not something you would expect to say. It was like, holy cow, that's kind of working.
Yeah.
All in all, I really dug this. It's still Jerry Dugan doing the Guardians, and he's still doing the crazy space stuff, but the Prime issue of this, it had me more excited because it had me with those feelings of like, oh shoot, like this is some like different groups coming together kind of like, I don't want to just say like Game of Thrones because that's become the go-to. Are there different groups fighting each other? Great.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no denying that it's definitely an influence.
Yeah. But yeah, when it gets to all those little parts that you see everybody with the different stones in the first one, when Ultron popped up at the end of the first one.
That was really cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have been so back and forth on Hank Pym Ultron.
Yeah.
That is one of the most fourth moments I've had on the Hank Pym Ultron. Like, I'm sold on this now.
Yeah.
And it tied in perfectly to the fact that he gets the Soul Stone.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so that had me really hyped for this. And this one's like, oh, it's just back to being Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I was just looking at the preview for issue 2. I was like, oh, I have to take back that statement I just made about how this will be going from one stone to the next. No, this is going to be another issue
more
of Guardians
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, which I'm hoping they get some Captain Marvel in there too, because I really love Captain Marvel, and I don't think her series has been good at all.
I want to love Captain Marvel, and man, Marvel is like hell-bent on making me not.
Marvel, man, Kelly Sue DeConnick teed that character up.
Right, here you go. Set it up.
Perfect. And then when she came in as head of Alpha Flight, I was like, I'm digging this. That's a great new role for her. It's perfect. And Civil War 2 destroyed her character.
Yeah.
And they decided the best way to redeem her was hanging her off to Marguerite Stoll. And Marguerite Stoll might be like a great writer. I haven't read like her novels. She's very okay.
Right.
Captain Marvel.
Thoroughly mediocre.
And I'm sorry, you can't, after you completely destroy who should be one of your most positive out there in the front characters of all, you can't just be okay.
No.
So I really want to see this book here that everybody's going out there and reading because it's the Infinity Stones and she's playing a big role because she's got the Reality Stone. God. I want to see like her have a standalone like just breakout moment in this book.
Dude, you know, Infinity War comes out in 6 weeks.
Dear God.
These books are going to be
That just hit me.
Yeah. These are the books that these coveted new readers are going to be reaching for. There's no way they're going to stay here if they read this issue, though.
That's,
Like, they're going to read this and go, I don't know. Oh, I remember them, the Guardians, that is. And then the Chitauri, they look familiar.
Even people who aren't new readers, who haven't been reading
They didn't read Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, I don't know who the hell the Gardener is.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And it's just like, I appreciate it. It's a cool book. I enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is getting everyone on board at the ground floor.
It's it's a great story with great characters being written exactly how they should be written.
Yeah, it's not even
but this is
Guardians. Like, it's a fun Guardians book.
But this is not Guardians issue 151.
No,
and
I mean, basically is.
It is, yes.
It's like a backdoor, side door Guardians book. Still, you know, great read. I love it. I thought it was great, despite the fact that it's like not gonna deliver what it's supposed to deliver.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Infinity is going to be. You know what I mean? Because it's all plus all these Infinity War, like Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, Infinity.
They have killed Infinity.
I mean, it's Infinity Countdown. We are counting down to something, and it must be called Infinity something. You can't call it Infinity because you had a book called Infinity.
Yes.
That's collected everywhere by Hickman.
And I have so many people who come into my store, and first off, it's bad enough that whenever they come into my store, they always look for Infinity War, and like, that's not
you don't want that.
That's not the one you want.
Yeah.
So I have to explain that to them. But then they also go, well, what's this one? It's just called Infinity. It's like, that.
You don't want that one either. Infinity Countdown #1. Do you recommend it?
I honestly, not to new readers, but to people who have a vague knowledge of, like, not even the Guardians, not even what the Guardians were up to, but even just Marvel's space side. Like, you understand Raptors, they're tied to the Shi'ar. All right, the Gardener, he's an elder guy. As long as you know that, you're pretty good. Like, in all honesty, if you listen to us talk about this stuff up to this point,
That's all you need.
you're pretty good.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
fair.
what you need to know.
Even then, like even the Shi'ar stuff, like just
Honestly, you don't
evil
even need to know
Dark Hawks.
the Shi'ar,
Move
yeah.
on. Like, I mean,
They're space villains. That's all you need to know.
we look at them. They're bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, although I will say, if you are a Guardians fan and you've been waiting for good Guardians, like, well, go back and pick up.
I was
Jim's
about to say,
book, but,
why-
like,
don't start here. Start with the Jerry Dugan
because
stuff.
this is obviously the conclusion of his run.
Yes.
So go back and pick it up.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, his run didn't sell all that well, so they're like, oh yeah, it's coming back, and I'm just like, yeah, they said the same thing about the Thunderbolts going into Secret Invasion.
Oh.
They're like, yeah, it's coming back, and I'm like, this really feels like they were like, you really need to finish that storyline, but we need some way to get people to read it.
So let's get into some recommendations for books that are coming out this week that you think you should pick up. Let's get them.
Yes.
Let's see here.
It is not the biggest week next week.
Not especially, but there are a couple of good books. For example, I am excited. Marvel 2-in-1 number 4 comes out.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, of course, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Valerio Schiti and Nick Bradshaw. I love Marvel's 2-in-1.
It is really, man, with Chip Zdarsky, I always enjoy his stuff, but when I heard he was going to be doing the Thing and the Human Torch, a little bit like, okay, it's going to be just like the jokey pal around kind of story. No, it's
It's
Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And it is heart and it is family.
Agreed. No, the last issue where we had the flashback to Ben and Reed, like
That was
playing
great.
practical jokes on Doom, that really like endeared me to Zdarsky and his writing. I was reading, I've read his Howard the Duck, and I thought it was really like mean-spirited and nasty. And I was like, just like, he clearly doesn't like
Okay.
Spider-Man. And then he took over for Spectacular, and I'm like, what are you doing? You don't like this guy. And then I was like, okay, it's cool. And Spectacular wound up being a little bit like, after like issue 3 or so, I was like, this is kind of by the numbers.
Yeah.
It just felt like he's just kind of phoning in Spider-Man stories.
A little bit.
I mean, like except for the J. Jonah Jameson twist.
That one was great, and even the issue after that I thought was really good.
Yes, well written, but I was also like, is this because you don't really know what to do with him? So you're just dropping bombs? Like, it just felt weird. But 2-in-1, he's actually like delivering. He's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's like, this is a story with characters, and I care about them. And you know, I'd not have thought that I knew how to write the Thing, but I do.
Yeah.
And it's good. I miss Chung on the art, but it's still a good book.
The fact that they got Chung for 2 issues was impressive.
And
to
they
me.
came out on time.
Yes.
It's amazing. But otherwise, like if you miss the Fantastic Four, you got to read 2-in-1 because like everybody who's bitching and moaning about how like there's no Fantastic Four comics, like you have to buy them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not going to make them. And if there is a Fantastic Four book coming out right now, and you're not buying it, you can't then say, why aren't they making a Fantastic Four book after that? Like,
Yeah.
It's the same people who are like, well, I want the Spider-Man marriage. I'm like, well, then why is it selling low 20s and like barely scratching 20,000 units for Renew Your Vows?
Yeah.
It's the series that you need to prove you want the marriage back for. To, you know what I mean? You got to buy that book to show you want that thing back. If you fall off that book, they're going to be like, they can literally point to a quantifiable number and say, you don't want it.
Yeah.
See? Just like that. Buy 2-in-1 if you want to see Fantastic Four come back. And hey, it's also good.
It's also good, yeah. I'm going with the new issue of the Falcon. I am loving the current Falcon series, and I really dug him as Captain America. I thought the Remender run was like, it was fun just watching him punch people a lot.
Sure.
But it was still Remender, and if Remender writes a character, it's going to be nothing but them talking about their daddy issues.
Right.
Oh my God. That has always been the usual suspect drop the coffee cup moment for people in my store.
They all have daddy issues, no.
Yeah, everybody in a Remender book has daddy issues. So I was like, it's fun watching him like punch a vampire in space, which yeah, was actually a dope moment.
Right.
But it was like, yeah, it's still Remender doing that. When Spencer took over, in the beginning, before we got to that point where Hydra Cap came around and it was nothing but Sam doubting himself, I actually really dug that. And that's the book that actually made me go, I actually like Sam Wilson as a character. And when he stopped being Captain America, I was like, well, his next series is not going to last all.
No.
But I was like, but it's still Sam. It's a new writer. I'll check it out. I am loving this run on, and it kind of plays off of all the stuff that Spencer had going there at the end, where Falcon basically said, yeah, listen, I gotta win people over. I gotta be nice. I gotta be, gotta smile. I can't say all the stuff I want to say. And at the very end of Spencer's run, he had this new Patriot character come in and basically go, dude, they're never going to like you. Stop making them try to like you. Just say what you want to say. And yeah, like issue 1 of this series, he is arresting some gang members in Chicago, and the mayor comes over and goes, don't worry, we'll get them in prison right away. And he just turns flat out to the camera and goes, the American legal system is causing more criminals than it stops. And he just flies off, Falcon away. I was like, oh, damn, ooh. Sam's back. But the thing that I am loving about this book so much is 2 things mainly. One, I have a very weird love for crazy, obscure 70s characters. And you can tell this writer does the same. Yeah. Because the first storyline, he was fighting Blackheart, the son of Mephisto. And there comes a moment where Blackheart grabs Sam, rips his soul out, and throws it into hell. And then the next issue was Sam Wilson has to escape hell with the help of the son of Satan, Dr. Voodoo, and the Two-Gun Kid.
Okay, yeah, all right.
The Two-Gun Kid is in hell, and he's like, but you were a hero. You were even an honorary Avenger. It's like, yeah, being a cowboy might seem fancy where you're from. Where I'm from, it's called a murderer.
Right.
The big man upstairs don't look on it kindly like you do. Which I thought, holy cow, that's a good moment.
Fair enough.
It leads up to like this great moment of Two-Gun Kid basically going, yeah, you're going to be tortured forever. Good luck with that. And just saying, abandoning him. And then Falcon has to fly out of hell with demons chasing him. And then the Two-Gun Kid just saddles up one more time and just shoots out the demons to let him go. Like, God damn it, I love this stuff.
That's cool.
But the other thing that I really enjoy about the Falcon book, it has the best hero-sidekick relation in any book I have read in years.
What, with Red Wing?
No, although I love Red Wing. I always love him. He's one of my favorite animal sidekicks. Even before I like the Falcon, I like Red Wing. I just love the fact that there was a dude who had a bird on his shoulder at every Avengers meeting.
Straight up, real bird.
But no, the new Patriot is great because it is like this, I learn from you, but you're mainly learning from me. Because my problem with most, like, quote-unquote sidekicks now these days, they're not sidekicks. Like, Batman forgets Damian exists.
Yes.
Like, Damian is a character.
Well, the writers for Batman are just like, I don't want to write about Damian, though.
Yeah. Damian is basically a character on Arrested Development where there's like, I love all my children equally. 2 minutes earlier, I don't care much for Damian. Yeah, like, they forget Damian exists, and, like, Superboy is good over in Superman, but that's a father-son thing. It's not really yeah.
I mean, Damian's Batman's son, too, but, like, he also started adopting children, like, when he was, like, 29, so.
Yeah. But the relationship between Falcon and Patriot, it is a great stuff where Patriot every now and again, when Falcon starts to doubt himself, is like, dude, remember, just be you. It's all good. But Falcon is legitimately teaching him lessons. Mm-hmm. And there's a moment in one of the issues where the mayor of Chicago was secretly Blackheart this whole time. He's trying to get like a giant... You can read into that whatever you want.
Fair enough.
But there's a... basically, Blackheart was trying to get a giant gang war going to like tear the entire city apart. And the mayor tells him, stay out of this. You're causing more harm than good. And Falcon has that moment which, oh, am I really doing the right thing? Okay. And he basically did throw out Nick Spencer's thing. Yeah. And then he like talked with Dr. Voodoo, who Dr. Voodoo was actually really good in this book too. Dr. Voodoo, one of those characters I never thought I would like. I always thought he was lame. Yeah. And over the past couple of years, between this and Uncanny Avengers, it's been like, okay, he's actually not bad. Yeah. But he's flying into battle, and he calls the Patriot, tells him, suit up. And he says, but I thought the mayor told you can't do this. The mayor can kiss my ass. I never heard you curse before. Can I say ass now? He goes, ass is not a curse word. It's a part of the human body. Can I say it? No. This is the father-son relationship I always wanted between sidekicks. Nice. So that's the stuff that I'm loving in there. It's just a bunch of character stuff. And it's also really weird 70s characters that everyone forgot about. Yeah. So yeah, it's, it's a book. It's not selling. It's not going to be around for long, but I don't care. It's just fun. And I just like it. And listen, it's a Falcon book. Of course it's not going to go for long. I'm going to enjoy it while it's here.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, everybody. That was Off the Rack this week. Check out Infinity Countdown, Falcon, and, of course, whatever book I recommend.
Marvel 2-in-1.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll see you guys next week. Of course, if you are interested in checking out Professor Thorgi's channel, check the description box down below, click the link, and check out everything you do over there. Right now, you're doing some movie stuff. So.
We do, yeah. We're kind of like an all-around geeky channel, but every single Wednesday, we do a comic book video, and the comic book stuff is my most popular stuff, so it's what I'm well known for. But on the weekends, we always review whatever the big new movie releases are that's coming out. And every now and again, I do like a little video game thing, too, just because I like video games.
Who doesn't like video games, right?
Eventually, there came a point in which I realized I really shouldn't talk about too many things, but if I don't talk about this game here, I will explode. So I decided, I'm just going to be like a geeky grab bag channel. But
Right on.
the comic book stuff, it's what I'm most known for, and it's every single Wednesday. We always hit that deadline. We just did a video in which I pitched my dream roster for the new Thunderbolts, which is not an actual book that's coming out, but I can hope. Villains trying to redeem themselves to be heroes. It's that simple of a concept.
It's Suicide Squad
Or-
without the bombs. Like, just move on. Like, just it writes itself.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Or Secret Six, I guess you could say.
Secret Six is way closer to it, and Gail Simone is now over at Marvel.
Oh, man, that's
Just
a great idea.
Yeah.
Gail Simone writing the Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit. Well,
Everybody tweet at her.
yeah. Gail, give us Thunderbolts. All right, see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye.